Carney talks tough on Trump threat, but can he reset relations? The anti-Trump numbers men who may force the UK to take a side. Former Australian Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull says leaders must stand up to bullies after being lashed by Donald Trump. Kleptocrats to benefit from Trump's DOJ's anti-corruption probe, experts warn. What Trump wants from Zelensky and Canada's new leader. Morning rundown. Russia expels 2 more British diplomats. US looks for big steps in Ukraine peace talks. North Korean hackers cash out hundreds of millions from $1.5 billion Bybit hack. Russia warns Australia that deploying peacekeeping troops to Ukraine would lead to grave consequences. Romania's pro-Russia presidential candidate to fight election ban. Russia orders 2 people connected to British embassy to leave the country. Goodbye Lenin. Finnish museum reinvents itself in response to shifting relations with Russia. Can he worry over future of Commonwealth Games? NFL free agency. The 10 best bids, including a QB solution for the Steelers. Rays owner reportedly being pressured to sell team by MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred, other team owners. Good evening, I am Munshad Motadi and welcome to Millennium Nightly News. Let's dive into today's details and keep you updated on the latest events around the world. Carney talks tough on Trump threat, but can he reset relations? Carney promised to face down the threats from Trump over the tariffs and the claims on Canada's sovereignty. Quote, "We did not ask for this fight, but Canadians are always ready when someone else drops the gloves," he warned. How he will translate his strong language on the stage in Ottawa into practical solutions to these twin challenges was, however, far less clear. If he was to push hard in an attempt to win concessions, will he also risk incurring the wrath of a man who uses unpredictability as a political art form? Much of that will depend on how serious the US president is in his insistence that he wants to impose economic pain on Canada.
The Canadian government has rightly retaliated and is rightly retaliating with our own tariffs that will have maximum impact.
The anti-Trump numbers man who may force the UK to take a side. The former Bank of England governor chose to lean strongly into resisting Donald Trump's policies at his acceptance speech. He said the US president had brought dark days from a country we can no longer trust. Carney vowed to keep the retaliatory tariffs until Americans show us respect. He ridiculed Trump's allegations of Canada's involvement in fentanyl trade and his suggestion that Canada has ripped off the US. Canada's trade deficit is caused entirely by its exports of subsidized oil, Carney told me. Canada will never be part of America in any way, shape or form. Former Australian Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull says leaders must stand up to bullies after being lashed by Donald Trump. Malcolm Turnbull was lashed by Donald Trump in a late-night social media post. The US president said Turnbull led Australia from behind and did not understand China. The post appears to be in response to an interview by Turnbull with Bloomberg in which he said Trump's chaotic leadership style would benefit China to the detriment of US. Turnbull said the world has seen an undiluted version of Trump in his second term, and that his capricious behavior would be seen as advantageous for China. But Turnbull also argued that being sympathetic towards Trump would not get a desired outcome for leaders around the world. Kleptocrats to benefit from Trump DOJ's anti-corruption post, experts warn. Donald Trump's U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi has moved fast to halt enforcement actions for 6 months under the 1977 Foreign Corrupt Practices Act. Veteran prosecutors say such policy changes are short-sighted and dangerous, stressing they could fuel bribes by U.S. firms to win deals abroad. The president and Bondi, a former Florida AG who helped defend Trump during his first impeachment, have championed these moves as part of a strategic shift at the DOJ to boost other Trump priorities and ones they claim are good for business. The moves have sparked sharp criticism by former U.S. prosecutors, transparency experts, and top Democrats, who warn that the moves are a huge setback for American efforts to clean up global business practices. What Trump wants from Zelensky and Canada's new leader. Morning rundown. President Trump is now after something more than just rights to Ukraine's rare earth minerals. The Department of Homeland Security has begun performing polygraph tests on employees to determine who might be leaking information to the media. A small plane crashed in the residential area of Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, yesterday afternoon, hitting several cars and bursting into flames. Former central banker Mark Carney will become Canada's next prime minister after the governing Liberal Party elected him its leader in a landslide vote over the weekend, and why an enterprising matchmaker is putting a bounty on single man in New York City's financial district. Russia expels 2 more British diplomats. Russia expels 2 more British diplomats. In the past year alone, there have been 7 British diplomats expelled from Russia, with Moscow accusing them of espionage. Relations between the UK and Russia have deteriorated to post-Cold War lows in the years following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The UK Foreign Office said this is not the first time that Russia has made malicious and baseless accusations against our staff. Last month, the UK expelled a Russian diplomat, an action taken in response to Moscow's expulsion of a British diplomat in November 2024. Russia's foreign ministry said on Monday it had also summoned a representative of the British embassy in protest. US looks for big steps in Ukraine peace talks. This week, a senior US diplomat, Steve Witkoff, shared optimism about significant progress in peace talks with Ukraine in Saudi Arabia. The discussions will focus on sharing intelligence and negotiating a deal involving important minerals. Key U.S. officials, including Secretary of State Marco Rubio, are expected to meet Ukrainian leaders for these talks. Meanwhile, U.S. President Trump is urging Ukrainian President Zelensky to agree to a ceasefire with Russia but hasn't guaranteed security support. Tensions remain high as Russia controls 20% of Ukraine's land, and both nations are under pressure regarding their positions. Zelensky emphasizes Ukraine's desire for peace, while also needing solid U.S. reassurances to proceed. The situation is complicated by military developments, including drone strikes and territorial disputes. Overall, both sides hope for a framework that could lead to an end to the ongoing conflict. North Korean hackers cash out hundreds of millions from $1.5 billion by BitHack. North Korean hackers cash out hundreds of millions from the $1.5 billion by BitHack. Experts say the infamous hacking team is working nearly 24 hours a day. 20% of the funds have now gone dark, meaning it is unlikely to be recovered. The US and allies accuse the North Koreans of carrying out dozens of hacks in recent years to fund the regime's military and nuclear development. The criminals, known as Lazarus Group, swiped the huge haul of digital tokens in a hack on crypto exchange Bybit 2 weeks ago. It's been a cat and mouse game to track and block the hackers from converting the crypto into usable cash. We'll be right back after a short break. I'm Munshad Muhtadi. Keep watching Linear Nightly News.
Welcome to Millennium News 24, your trusted source for accurate, unbiased news. We're here to bring you the stories that matter most from America and around the world with integrity and a commitment to truth. In today's world, where misinformation can easily spread, having access to reliable news is more important than ever. At Millennium News 24, we aim to cut through the noise by delivering clear, fact-based reporting. Whether you're following major events or looking for in-depth analysis, we are here to serve you with transparency and respect for all communities regardless of color, wealth, or religion. This beautiful America was built by the resilience of its people, immigrants, entrepreneurs, doctors, and everyday individuals working together to create something great. It's this spirit that inspires us to provide you with news that's inclusive, honest, and relevant. We believe that informed citizens are the foundation of a strong society, and we strive to give you the knowledge you need to make a difference. From breaking news to insightful features, we bring you comprehensive coverage on politics, economics, health, culture, and much more. We believe that everyone deserves access to the truth, and we are proud to be a part of a global network that connects people through information. Stay informed by following us on your devices, including iOS, Android, Roku, Amazon, Apple TV, and Smart TVS. And for global access, we're also available on Horizon Satellite. Visit us at www.millenniumtv24.com or www.millenniumnews24.com to stay updated at Millennium News 24. Our mission is to promote unity, understanding, and progress in a rapidly changing world. Join us as we work to inspire positive action through the power of truth. Thank you for watching. Follow us, subscribe, and stay informed.
Welcome back after the break. I'm Munshad Muhtadi and you're watching Linear Nightly News. Russia warns Australia deploying peacekeeping troops to Ukraine would lead to grave consequences. The Australian government is considering a proposal to send peacekeepers to the war-torn region as part of a coalition of the willing. The troops would enforce any peace deal struck between the two nations. The Russian embassy in Australia said joining the coalition would entail grave consequences for Australia. Once again, Western boots on the ground are unacceptable for Russia, and we will not remain passive observers, the statement said. The Foreign Minister Penny Wong and the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade have been contacted for a response. Australia's support for Ukraine has surpassed $1.5 billion in aid since Russia's invasion. Romania's pro-Russia presidential candidate to fight election ban, Călin Gheorghiu, has said he will challenge a decision to bar him from taking part in an election rerun in May after claims of Russian meddling. The US Vice President J.D. Vance said Romania's annulment of its election in December amid allegations of Russian interference meant it did not share American values. A small group of his supporters smashed pavements and set fire to rubbish bins in Bucharest on Sunday, while Elon Musk, a key advisor to the US President Donald Trump, called the description to bar Gheorghiu crazy. Russia orders 2 people connected to British embassy to leave the country. 2 people connected to the British embassy in Moscow have been ordered to leave the country. Russian authorities claim they had been performing intelligence work. the British government hit back by accusing Russia of making malicious and baseless accusations. The move appears to be the latest in a series of tit-for-tat expulsions of diplomats by Russia and the UK. Britain expelled a Russian diplomat last month, with the Foreign Secretary, David Lammy, saying this action had been taken following Russia's recent expulsion of a British diplomat in November. The expulsion was announced after a major criminal investigation left 6 members of a Russian proxy spy ring dubbed the Minions facing years behind bars. Goodbye Lenin. Finnish museum reinvents itself in response to shifting relations with Russia. The former Lenin Museum in Tampere, which closed in November, reopened this month under a new name, Nuti. When it was first opened in 1946, after the Second World War, the institution was intended as a symbol of post-war friendship. During the Cold War, it became a place for diplomacy, and in 2016, the museum was revamped to focus on Soviet history. After Russia's 2022 invasions of Ukraine, Finland rapidly became a member of NATO, and the countries shared 830 miles, 1,330 kilometers border closed. Kel Kallio, the director of the museum, said that in recent years, the Lenin name had become a burden. Let's have a glance at the world of sports. Kenny worry over future of Commonwealth Games. Dame Laura Kenny says there is a worry over the future of the Commonwealth Games, but she hopes next year's event in Glasgow proves it is still viable. Glasgow stepped in to host a scaled-down version of the 2026 Games after the Australian state of Victoria withdrew last year because of rising costs. Bids from Kuala Lumpur, Cardiff, Calgary, Edmonton, and Adelaide were withdrawn because of concerns over costs, leaving it without a host until Victoria stepped in 2023. 5-time Olympic track cycling champion Kenny told Radio 4's Today program, "I feel so grateful to Glasgow for putting their hands up and saying they will have it." NFL free agency, the 10 best fits, including a QB solution for the Steelers. The NFL's so-called legal tampering period begins Monday. Here are 10 best fits for free agents at varying positions and the teams that would benefit from signaling them. QB Aaron Rodgers to Steelers, DT Milton Williams to Patriots, D. Josh Sweat to Falcons, S. Javon Holland to Panthers, LB Greenlaw to Cowboys, LB Marvin Overshown to Rams, RB Najee Harris to Chargers, QB Sam Darnold back to Vikings. The Vikings can't be totally sure J.J. McCarthy will be completely healthy for the 2025 opener or ready to start after last rookie season. Rays owner reportedly being pressured to sell team by MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred, other team owners. Tampa Bay Rays owner Stu Sternberg is reportedly being pressured to sell the team. MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred and some other owners are reportedly pressuring Sternberg to sell. Sternberg and local officials in St. Petersburg have been working toward a $1.3 billion proposal for a new stadium after Tropicana Field was destroyed by Hurricane Milton last year. The stadium proposal appears to have hit several roadblocks amid a funding dispute between the team and the city. It is unclear if it will get done, and there is a March 31 deadline in place for several aspects of that plan. Now let's have a glance at the weather trends and what you can expect as you plan your day ahead. Let's have a glance at the headlines one more time. Carney talks tough on Trump threat, but can he reset relations? The anti-Trump numbers men who may force the UK to take a side. Former Australian Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull says leaders must stand up to bullies after being lashed by Donald Trump. Kleptocrats to benefit from Trump's DOJ's anti-corruption post, experts warn. What Trump wants from Zelensky and Canada's new leader. Morning rundown. Russia expels 2 more British diplomats. US looks for big steps in Ukraine peace talks. North Korean hackers cash out hundreds of millions from $1.5 billion Bybit hack. Russia warns Australia that deploying peacekeeping troops to Ukraine would lead to grave consequences. Romania's pro-Russia presidential candidate to fight election ban. Russia orders 2 people connected to British embassy to leave the country. Goodbye Lenin. Finnish museum reinvents itself in response to shifting relations with Russia. Can you worry over future of Commonwealth Games? NFL free agency, the 10 best bids including a QB solution for the Steelers. Rays owner reportedly being pressured to sell team by MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred, other team owners. Thank you for staying with us. Looking to stay updated with the latest news on our social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Millennium News 24. Don't forget to check out our YouTube channel, Millennium News 24. You can watch us on Android and iOS devices, as well as on Apple TV, Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Amazon Satellite TV, and all smart TV platforms. Enjoy entertainment and the latest news with us. Download the Millennium TV apps, Millennium TV USA for Android, and Millennium News on Google. Thank you for being a part of Millennium News 24. Thanks again for staying with us. I'm Murshid Muhtadi. Stay tuned for the next news. Have a good night.